Hey, it's Rich back with you today. We're at Orange County Airport, John Wayne, and I'm standing in front of a 1982 Cessna 414A. This is a special airplane. In all of my time selling airplanes and being around twin Cessnas, I've never been around one as low time. This has 2,700 hours total time on it, and the same owner for 25 years. Joe LaBarbera is going to be with us and flying the airplane and talking about it. And again, a very unique 414A to see this low time. My view is it's probably the lowest time one in the world. And also to have the same guy flying it for 25 years. So we're going to take you along for the ride.
Since you're retired and you got all this time on your hands, we'll have you do the demos, right?
I don't mind flying for
yeah, it'll be fun.
Stuff.
7457 John Wayne Tower. Traffic maneuvering over the fairground helicopter at 900. Runway 20 right at kilo. Push takeoff.
20 right at kilo. Push takeoff. 459.
Here, traffic 2 mile final, parallel, 737, report traffic in sight.
Traffic in sight, 5 Charlie Sierra, looking for this operation possible.
5 Charlie Sierra, approved, runway 20 left, go to the opposite.
20 left, clear for the opposite, 5 Charlie Sierra.
Number 457 and 9 traffic set for 2 o'clock and 1 mile 1000.
Got him.
Yeah, 457 has that traffic.
Hey, you're on traffic a mile.
Okay, so we're just climbed off of John Wayne on top of overcast layer here. We're going to go out to Catalina at 3,500 feet and just fly around. This is again a 1982 Cessna 414A, and Cessna started building the 414s I think in the 60s. Had the 414, and then they upgraded to the 414A, got rid of the big tip tanks, and I think they made a change to the pressurization system. 414As are really the premium twin Cessna in this class. 421s had the geared engines, and people I think are a little more concerned about those. And generally speaking, 200 knot airplane, pressurized, probably 40 gallons an hour in cruise. And it's been a real popular airplane over the years. We've sold a lot of them, and people generally have invested a lot of money in upgrades with different modifications that you can do to the airplane. So Joe has owned this airplane for 25 years, and how did you get into? What inspired you to get a 414?
Well, we do property management throughout California, Arizona, Nevada mostly, and we had some other stuff going on up in the Seattle area, and I had started flying when I was about 18, got my license, like 19, 20, and the company I was working for at that time was driving all the time, so I said, I have my license, why don't we go fly? So we ended up flying rented a Warrior or something, I think, and flew out to like Lake Havasu was one of our spots. And at that second, it was like, okay, let's buy an airplane. This really helps. So our first plane was a 1989 Saratoga. We bought that brand new. So we flew that for about 10 years, but our missions were getting to be in kind of adverse weather, and that was a problem for us all the time, was either flying in the bad weather or, you know, holding us down. So we decided to start looking at other planes, and we started out looking at C-90s, you know, a few citations, things like that, going that route. The TBM had just come out, so we got to fly a few of those when they're brand new. And then finally decided on going with a twin engine, but the King Air was kind of, the expenses were not where we want to be. We're still very, very, very practical people. So,
yeah.
We saw this plane, a couple of different 414s we flew, 421s, and decided on this one. It came out of Channel Islands Construction Company, I believe was the first owner, and then a dealer out of Indiana, I believe, worked a deal with them, traded it or something. So we ended up finding it with that dealer.
So when you bought it, was it considered low time? And
yeah, it was at 900 hours when we bought it.
Right.
So
and
that was low time. That was one of the issues that we wanted.
Yeah.
And it was in August of 1996. We bought that. Right away, we took it from Indiana over to Oklahoma, had the interior done. I think probably 5 or 6 years later, we had the paint done. Sometime in 2000, 2001, I believe it was. And I've flying it ever since.
And then as far as your avionics upgrade, is that recent or?
Yeah, we had this 530 and a 430 were the first upgrades we did. I took the 430 out of here. We got the 750. That's going to read. I'm still, and the Aspen also. These are all the last 4 or 5 years.
Right.
Put these in.
Yep.
Still not real familiar with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're sort of new to me.
Good stuff, though.
I'm used to flying old school. You know, all the steam gauges.
Yeah.
So, but this has made it so much easier. No more ADFs. You know, even VORs are kind of going away.
Yeah.
So this new avionics makes it very, very simple to fly.
All right. How about your 400? Or this is an 800 autopilot.
Yeah, this is Autopilot.
It's the original.
The original Autopilot, and it's been just worked flawlessly.
Yeah.
So I know a lot of guys like to upgrade to that new Garmin thing, but and it's got some new cool features with it too.
Yeah.
That would be a nice upgrade, but this is working perfectly. As you can see, we're on Autopilot now.
Yeah. My experience with those, when they're working, they do a real nice job.
And I've never ever had a problem with it.
Yeah.
No servos have gone out or anything. So
Yeah.
It's always been a real good Autopilot.
So when I think of 414s, really in the 421s, I think of, you know, people say, what do you get out of them? And I always kind of default to 200 knots and 40 gallons an hour. Is that in your 25 years
at
flying?
altitude, yeah, you'll get up to that 200 knots.
Yep.
Really, for me, the biggest thing is the comfort. The pressurization is nice. The size of the cabin, being able to walk through the aisle if you have to. Having a potty in the back, you know, that's a nice little nice feature.
And then, you know, as we have discussed, the Ram engines have kind of been the gold standard, I think, for twin Cessnas throughout the years. And some people that I've talked to that have a lot of experience with these airplanes have started to say maybe factory engines are better. And it was interesting to me that you put factory new motors on it after having Ram 4s. So
yeah,
how did that?
I can't remember the exact year that all happened, but we decided, of course, to go with Ram because they were the popular engine to go with.
Right.
So we went the Ram 4s, and right out the get-go, we had problems for almost the whole time we had the Rams. Whether it was cylinders blowing off, I had one time the case cracked. I had oil coming out of a case one time. That's the other thing about this engine. I have lost that engine. When I had the Rams, I lost the engines 3 times. And that is one nice thing about these, is it does fly.
Yeah, 414s do well on one engine.
Well, if you're not, you know, if you're fully loaded, perhaps you'd have a little issue, maybe 100 foot an hour, per minute climbing.
Right.
But with 4 or 5 people and, you know, half fuel or so, you're gonna still do 500 feet a minute on one engine.
Yeah.
So
you had the the issues really out of the gates then from
Yeah. So then we had those problems and went through cylinders like crazy because they kept saying they had bad metallurgy.
Yeah,
on
I
the
remember that.
cylinders.
Yeah.
So we went through probably 36 cylinders. I think is what it was finally.
Wow.
And
did that engine go all the way to...
Yeah, those engines, well, they ended up replacing one of the blocks that went bad. And I took those engines all the way to a little past TBO, I think, 1700, 1800, or second TBO. And then this time around, we just decided to go with factory, brand new, out of the box engines, blocks, everything. And then we pretty much, and we had to do American intercoolers because they... Apparently, the manufacturer for the CESSNA intercoolers is no longer making them, or they had a hard time getting them. So I went with the American,
which are really popular.
Which are very
nice.
And I do notice a little bit of an increase, especially at altitude.
Yeah.
With that.
I think in the conventional thinking is if you get American aviation intercoolers, you get Ram 4 performance out of them.
Yeah, probably. I'd have to say, my
probably your experience. So, and you just put the factory new engines in it. You're talking turbos, everything. Props.
Yep. The
whole bit. 50 hours ago, basically.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, as far as your mission, your typical mission, what, a couple 100 miles going to the Bay Area?
It was our typical mission was Yuma, Lake House, about 300 miles. Was our typical mission, and then we had a boat up in Seattle area. So that was quite often going up to Seattle. Yeah.
And the same company's been maintaining it for you.
Yeah, I've had it here at
Jay's
at John Wayne Airport for the full 25 years.
Yeah. And Jay's a real experienced CESSNA shop, been around for a long time.
Yeah, he's got a 414 himself.
And he has a 414, right? So he knows these airplanes well.
It's I think it's one of the best airplanes made for this type of plane for kind of a business class, cabin size and all that, and cost of operation is significantly lower than any turbine.
Yeah. Yeah. And you sit up here in this airplane. I fly jets a lot, and I mean, this is like it's a real true big cabin class feel to it. It's just really, really a great, comfortable airplane. And when they're dialed in like this, and good avionics, I mean. It's just a great flying airplane, and you have a lot of confidence in it too. Especially with your experience where you've had 3 engine failures, and you didn't scare yourself. You kept doing it. And then,
once you have an event, and also you have to go to training.
Yeah.
Either flight safety or SimCom or.
And did you do that every year?
I do that every year.
Yeah.
Kind of an insurance requirement, but you do learn a lot there. A lot of the single engine stuff. You can't really practice in this airplane. You don't want to shut down engines and things like that.
Yeah.
I try to fly everything at about 65% power, 65%.
Which is about where you're at
now. About where we're at now, about 2,700. I can get a little bit quieter. I can get a little bit better than that.
Yeah.
Right now we're doing 17 gallons. We're low right now. So.
Any other, with all your experience flying this airplane, any other things that come to mind, like, how you operate it, or what you would do differently, or what you started doing differently after you had some experience in it?
No, not really. I think I've been flying it the same way all these years, and it seems to work for me.
Yeah. Pretty straightforward, too.
It's nice because it's actually very simple, especially the pre-flight is very simple. There's not a whole lot of things to check.
Yeah.
Very, very easy plane to fly. The only difference you'll notice transitioning from a smaller plane is the weight. You'll notice that.
Yeah. Good. So, obviously, we're putting this airplane on the market. You're selling it just because your business need changed and just don't need this type of airplane anymore. Is that safe to say? Yeah,
that's pretty much. Like I said, I kept the airplane for the past after I retired about 5 years ago, but I'm just not flying it enough to justify it. Most of my flying is just with 1 or 2 other people, anyways.
Yeah.
And the mission, no longer having the business mission anymore, it makes it difficult to just. Try to fly it every week or 2 weeks or so, just to get up and keep things working.
Yeah.
And fly it. But I'm looking just to downsize to something smaller.
Yeah.
Small single.
And again, this airplane, from my experience, is really unique because of the low time, 2,700 hours. I said in the intro that it's, I think, the lowest time 414 in the world. I'd take that a step further and say it's probably the lowest time twin Cessna, period. And the world.
It very well could be.
It could be. If anybody has anything to refute that, leave it in the comments. I'd love to hear about a lower time twin Cessna of any kind than 2,700 hours. And then you couple that with the fact that you've had it 25 years, really, in my opinion, makes it a unique airplane.
Yeah, no one else has actually flown the plane except me for 25 years.
And if you want to fly this airplane on a demo flight and you're interested in it, you're going to fly with Joe.
Yeah. I love picking people up flying.
Yeah,
any excuse to go fly.
Yeah, and do what we're doing. It's pretty fun. So that kind of wraps it up. We're going to head back to Long Beach and go in there. It looks like we're probably going to have to do an ILS in Long Beach. Maybe not. Looks like maybe it's cleared up over there. But we'll check back in when we get on the ground.
November 457, where do you work?
OCR Aviation.
Going to OCR Aviation.
About the DM, contact ground, not on the runway, please, drive a short file behind you. 457.
All right, we just pulled up to the hangar. That wraps it up on this video. This really unique 414A. You're going to be able to find more about it on our website. And thanks to Joe for showing us this airplane and taking us a spin. Thanks for watching.